men can be conditionally divided into two groups. The first group always adheres to the idea of marriage, considering it as an integral part of every man's life. The other half prefers not to condemn those who prefer a bachelor lifestyle. These are those who do not aspire to marriage and may have at some point made the decision to give up on the idea. In this video, I will detail the advantages that men who are not in a relationship or marriage have over those who choose to live alone. This will be of interest to both those who are currently out of a relationship and those who are in one. Although I'm almost 100% sure that most men in relationships probably won't even watch this video, especially if they are dependent on their partners. They will probably say that relationships are better and singles are losers, unfulfilled people who can't find the right partners. I would like to discuss this statement because many bachelors, men who are not in a relationship, have consciously chosen this lifestyle. Of course, there are situations when a man does not aspire to be a bachelor, but circumstances have developed in such a way that he did not have a relationship. This is quite normal, because not everyone is destined for the fate of marriage. Some men, after going through a divorce, may realize the benefits of a life without relationships and marriage. In any case, regardless of your status, here are 10 advantages of being single over those who are married. The first advantage is that you are basically in control of your life. You are now not responsible for your wife. Although, if you have children, you are certainly partially responsible for them. Overall, you avoid the significant difficulties of an unsuitable relationship or marriage, and there is no longer responsibility for the other person, who could be the source of both psychological and physical difficulties. When you're not in a relationship, whether you're post-divorced, single, or have never been married, there are pros. Chief among them is that you are only responsible for your life. It's much easier because you only focus on your tasks. When something happens to your partner, you worry about them, you spend your time and energy on taking care of them, which can sometimes be a big burden. The second perk of being single over someone who is in a serious relationship: you have more free time. Having free time is great because you can devote it to things that bring you joy. Even without mentioning a healthy lifestyle, just doing what you enjoy is already important. Unlike those who are married and spend time doing something that doesn't bring you joy. For example, you don't have to spend time not only with your wife, but also with her girlfriends, listen to them talk about men and the like. You are free to do what you want to do. Being single gives you more time, and you are happy about it. The third advantage of a single man is the freedom to set up his own home. When you live with someone, sometimes you have to give in and do things you don't want to do. However, being single, you can create the environment in the house to your liking, arrange things the way you want without worrying that someone will scold you for it. In addition, you have more space, as there is no need to share it with someone else's cosmetics and other things that take up a lot of space and can be confusing. In the absence of a roommate, you are in charge of your own space, placing your things the way you want. Obviously, this is satisfying. However, as a single person, it pays to be mindful of cleanliness and order, without sinking into clutter or succumbing to the stereotype of singles who claim not to follow cleanliness. It is important to accustom oneself to order, cleanliness, and discipline. The fourth advantage for those men who prefer to live alone without women: you feel more peace. You do not have to face constant irritations and scandals. Naturally, there are times when you may feel loneliness, especially if you are independent and not too sociable. However, with the presence of friends, girlfriends, and good acquaintances, even as a bachelor, your life remains full. In general, you have an atmosphere of tranquility at home. When living together with someone, not even necessarily married and without children, conflicts, misunderstandings, and difficulties can arise. When you live alone, all these problems are absent, you avoid headaches, no one invades your personal zone, which ultimately makes your life happier and more satisfying. The fifth advantage is that no one judges you. How many times have you faced judgment from a woman you've been cohabitating with or in a relationship with? After all, there is always the possibility that you turn out to be different from what she would have liked, and that can hit your self-esteem hard. However, being single, you don't have a woman seeking to humiliate you right in your own home. Women are sometimes capable of humiliating you, comparing you to others, judging you, and all of this negativity affects your self-esteem. You can quietly, while leading your bachelor life, build your self-esteem, and no one can disrupt this process. It has been observed that people who choose to be consciously single often have charisma and self-confidence. It is also important to surround yourself with people whose energetic influences do not negatively affect you. If your environment is filled with energy vampires, toxic personalities, abusers, or narcissists, it can significantly affect your well-being. And if it is your wife, you are facing a serious problem. The sixth point is that you are free to socialize with whomever you want. Sometimes a woman may not like that you have certain friends or acquaintances, and she may explicitly express her wish that you do not socialize with them. When you're single, you're free to socialize with anyone you want, even all kinds of people. The seventh point is that you are free to practice spirituality. There are many spiritual practices and religious beliefs. This can be fascinating and beneficial to you personally. A woman's influence on your spiritual pursuits can be significant. She may be against certain practices, faiths, or even your desire for abstinence. When you are alone, you are free to do whatever you want, without restriction. No one has the right to stop you from doing so. Even if you had a wife or girlfriend, she would not have the right to forbid you, but avoiding all these conflicts is much easier when you are single. The eighth point is the possibility of succumbing to sexual relations with different women. The lack of restrictions in this matter may have its positive aspects. However, there are men who, even when they are married, do not adhere to exclusivity in partnerships, which in my opinion may not be the right thing to do. When you are single, you have the freedom to try out a variety of relationships with different women as there is no commitment to a particular person. The ninth aspect concerns saving money. Of course, you spend less or, if you do, you spend it on things you really want yourself. A woman can become something of a magnet for your wallet, often emptying it or even zeroing out your bank card. She may always find an excuse to spend money without regard for the labor by which it was earned. In bachelorhood, you may be saving money on something or acquiring something you've dreamed of all your life. And finally, the 10th. No one will cause pain in your heart. You will not worry and suffer because of the person who is next to you. Very often the bonds of love and marriage do not bring joy and happiness, especially if it is a one-sided love. If your wife has no love for you, it is unhappiness and suffering, not a happy life. When you are single, when you are not married, you don't experience this unpleasant feeling. Friends, if you liked the video, please put a like. Thank you for your attention.